Long before your mind ever formulated a sentence, and long before you learned to articulate your desires to the world, your biology was already engaged in a silent, profound conversation. There is a secret language spoken within the depths of your being, a truth that the vast majority of people walk right past without ever noticing. We tend to believe that our secrets are safe, locked away in the quiet chambers of our internal thoughts. But the universe is not deaf to the whispers of your cells. Every single emotion that washes over you, every fleeting thought that sparks across your synapses, and every hidden belief you nurse in the shadows is not contained within the physical boundaries of your skin. It is not static, it is movement. It travels through you as a vibration, a distinct frequency, an invisible sonic boom that your DNA hears, records, and responds to. You have spent so much time trying to figure out how to communicate with the universe, how to ask for what you want, how to pray, or how to manifest. But you need to realize that you do not have to try to communicate. Your body is already doing it for you incessantly, every second of every day. We have been taught that DNA is merely a biological archive, a silent strand of hereditary data trapped inside the nucleus of a cell, dictating eye color and height. But this is a limited, outdated view. Your DNA is a living, breathing instrument of perception. It is a field of light that constantly receives and transmits information between your localized consciousness and the infinite expanse of everything that exists. It is the bridge between the finite and the infinite. Consider for a moment what happens when you feel a surge of pure joy. It isn't just a chemical release. The very molecules of your body expand into a state of coherence. Conversely, when you are gripped by fear, those same molecules contract into a primal state of survival. This is not just a feeling, it is a code. Each emotion you experience becomes a specific instruction set, telling the body how to shape the reality you are about to step into. The universe, in its vast intelligence, does not respond to the words you speak aloud. It ignores your linguistic pleas. Instead, it responds with mathematical precision to the energetic tone your DNA translates. It responds to who you are vibrating as, not who you say you are. For decades, scientists operated under the rigid assumption that DNA was fixed, a frozen script written by your ancestry that you were doomed to act out. But the frontiers of modern quantum biology have shattered this determinism. We now understand that this code is fluid, it is intelligent, it is wildly responsive to consciousness itself. We are not machines running a program. We are the programmers writing the code in real time. This changes everything about how we view our agency in the world. You are not a victim of your genetics. You are the conductor of their expression. The melody you choose to play determines the symphony of your life. Let's dive deeper into the mechanics of this light. Researchers and biophysicists have begun to uncover that DNA functions as a light transmitter. It has been discovered that the strands of your DNA actually emit faint, rhythmic pulses of light known as biophotons. These are not random sparks. They are flashes of information that mirror your emotional state. When you are in a state of calm, centered awareness, this light flows in smooth, harmonious patterns. It is like a laser, focused and coherent. But when you are anxious, stressed, or scattered, that light flickers chaotically, like a bulb about to burn out. The inner music loses its tempo. You must understand that you are not just surrounded by light in a metaphorical sense. You are built from it. You are weaving this light into form every single second. Most of humanity moves through the waking world completely unaware that their internal dialogue has immediate biological consequences. When the mind complains, when the heart tightens in judgment, when the breath shortens in impatience, a cascade of tension alters the electromagnetic signature of your entire system. DNA is the listener that never sleeps. It records every vibration you emit. It adjusts the sacred geometry of its spiral based on what you repeatedly feel. In moments of deep peace, the spiral loosens. The code breathes. It opens up to receive higher frequency information. In moments of chronic fear, it constricts. It shuts down. It protects you, yes, but it also limits you, cutting you off from the flow of universal intelligence. What you label as an emotion is not just a psychological reaction to a bad day. It is a field instruction. It is a command. Every time you fall into a pit of despair and stay there, your DNA receives that pattern of despair and begins to broadcast it outward like a radio signal. And here is the quantum secret. The field does not punish you. The universe is not judging you. The field mirrors you. It acts as a perfect, neutral reflector. The reflection may come in the form of people, unexpected events, or strange coincidences, but make no mistake, all of them are translations of the information your body has been sending out. Imagine standing in front of a mirror made of pure energy. You realize that your heartbeat, not your reflection, determines what appears in the glass. This is exactly how reality functions at the quantum level. The signal of your DNA interacts with the larger quantum field, and the field organizes physical matter according to resonance. The law of the universe is coherence. Two frequencies that match will always find each other. It is an inescapable physics. When you maintain a vibration of genuine gratitude, you're not just feeling good. You are tuning your biological radio to a frequency where opportunities aligned with gratitude must appear. Conversely, when you hold on to deep-seated fear, you magnetize circumstances that validate that fear. The bridge between the invisible world of energy and the visible world of matter is not luck. It is not destiny. It is biology communicating with consciousness. There is an intelligence inside of you that is far older than your thinking mind. It is an intelligence that listens without judgment. It listens to the music of your cellular structure, to the rhythm of your breathing, and most importantly, to the spaces between your words. That listener is your DNA. It constantly measures the frequency of your state and tunes your physical reality accordingly. This brings a whole new perspective to practices like meditation, silence, and emotional awareness. These are not merely spiritual metaphors or relaxation techniques. They are tools to stabilize the signal you are sending to the quantum field. When the mind becomes still, when the heart expands, the static noise disappears. In that silence, the original frequency of your being emerges. Ancient mystics called this light. Modern physicists call it coherence. They are describing the exact same event, a human being returning to alignment with the quantum field. In that state, your DNA begins to vibrate as it did in its purest form. The photons around it pulse rhythmically. The electromagnetic field of the heart synchronizes with the brain, and a direct communication line opens between you and the field of creation itself. This is not mysticism. It is structure. Everything that exists vibrates. Every vibration carries information. DNA is the master translator between these two worlds. When you speak harshly to yourself, when you degrade your own worth, your DNA records that command as a distortion. It creates static in the signal. When you speak with love, when you honor your existence, it records clarity. You are writing genetic music with every single emotion you entertain. Over time, these emotional patterns create the lens through which you see life. Awakening isn't about learning new information. It is about remembering how to feel. When you allow yourself to feel fully, without resistance, you send a pure signal. The field can then respond without interference. Every cell in your body begins to recalibrate because the instructions it is receiving are finally coherent. The spiral of life, the sacred geometry of your DNA, begins to turn in rhythm with the greater cosmos. You stop being a fragmented individual trying to survive a hostile world, and you become a participant in the conversation of the universe. The listener within you and the field around you are revealed to be one and the same. The more you trust this communication, the more effortless manifestation becomes. It stops being a technique you do for 20 minutes in the morning and becomes a way of being. It is simply biology fulfilling its design. Look at your life right now. now. Look at the room you are in, the relationships you hold, the job you have. Notice that these are echoes of your past frequencies. Every opportunity and every challenge carries the imprint of the energy you once sent out. The purpose of this awareness is not to judge those signals or to blame yourself for the past. It is to understand the mechanics so you can change the future. Once you realize that your DNA has always been listening, you begin to choose your tone more carefully. You choose peace not because it is a moral ideal, but because it is a biological necessity for the life you want to lead. You choose love because it creates coherence in the field. You choose silence because in silence, the language of light becomes audible again. The truth is simple and infinite. The universe is not out there. It is inside the strands of light that shape your being. It is listening, translating, and responding. Your DNA is the antenna. It is the bridge. It is the silent witness of every frequency you become, and the more consciously you live, the clearer its song becomes, until one day you realize that the music you were trying to hear from the heavens has always been the sound of your own light. Light is not just what you see with your eyes. It is what you are made of. Every cell in your body holds a memory of this light, and deep inside each cell, your DNA pulses with that same silent rhythm that governs the spin of galaxies. This is the scale of your connection. You are cosmic in nature, packed into a biological frame. Scientists once dismissed the idea of inner light as a biological myth. They believed that any faint traces of radiation flickering from living tissue were merely random waste energy, the metabolic exhaust of a chemical engine. But the truth is far more mysterious and profound. Those flashes of light are not waste. They are messages. They are the sophisticated language your cells use to communicate, the method by which the body maintains its coherence, and the mechanism through which consciousness whispers instructions into matter. When the biophysicist Fritz Albert Popp first detected this subtle radiation, he didn't just call it energy, he called it the language of light. Popp discovered a startling distinction between vitality and decay. He found that healthy, vibrant cells emitted a steady, harmonious stream of light. It was a consistent signal. In contrast, stressed or diseased cells flickered irregularly, chaotically, as if their inner rhythm had been shattered and they were screaming into the void. This difference wasn't just a matter of biology, it was a matter of vibration. You need to understand that you are a symphony of light signals. You are constantly interacting with the world around you through this invisible radiance, and standing at the center of this process, holding the baton, is your DNA, the conductor of this invisible orchestra. Every thought you think sends a ripple through this field, shifting the tone of the light you emit. It is instantaneous. Gratitude is not just a polite social emotion, it is a waveform that smooths the frequencies, creating patterns that synchronize your entire system. Fear does the opposite. It disrupts the signal, scattering photons in a state of confusion. Love aligns. Anger fragments. It is as if emotion itself is the brush that paints the internal cosmos in patterns of illumination and shadow. The quality of that light defines the clarity of your connection to the quantum field. When your internal light is scattered by stress, doubt, or resentment, the signal you transmit to the quantum field becomes noisy. It's like trying to tune into a radio station through a storm of static. But when your signal is coherent, reality mirrors you instantly. Why? Because the field always follows order. The universe seeks resonance, not chaos. This is the physics behind why some people seem to live in a state of perpetual luck. People who live in deep coherence draw synchronicities to themselves effortlessly. Their internal light is aligned with the cosmic current, so events, people, and opportunities flow toward them in perfect timing. You have likely felt moments like this yourself. There are days when everything moves with you instead of against you. You think of a friend, and they call. You need a solution, and it appears. In those seconds, you sense that life is listening to you. In those moments, the light within you is communicating clearly, without the interference of doubt. You have become a transmitter in harmony with creation. The great secret that has been kept from you is that this state is not rare. It is natural. You are meant to live this way. Your DNA was designed to interact with the quantum field as effortlessly as your lungs interact with the air. However, generations of conditioning, stress, and fear have clouded this signal. We have collectively forgotten the rhythm of light. The body shifted into survival mode, learning to react to threats instead of creating reality. But that forgetting did not erase your potential. It only dimmed it. The language of light still exists inside you, burning quietly, waiting for you to remember how to speak it again. And to speak it, you must shift your operating system. You must feel, not think. Thoughts belong to the realm of logic and analysis, but light responds to frequency, and frequency is created by emotion. We must clarify what feeling truly means in this context. It isn't about wallowing in drama. It is about generating a specific vibrational state. When you truly feel gratitude viscerally in your chest, every photon inside you aligns to that vibration. This is measurable, tangible, and profoundly biological. Your electromagnetic field expands. The brain and heart synchronize their rhythms, and incredibly, the DNA helix literally changes its tension. The pattern of emitted light becomes smooth and radiant. This is what ancient mystics were seeing when they described the aura, and it is what modern scientists call the biofield, or coherence. It is not imagination, it is resonance. The more often you reach this state, the more your DNA learns the new rhythm. Eventually, it stays there. You establish a new baseline. Even when life feels uncertain or chaotic, you remain a stable signal in a shifting world, and stability is magnetic. When you hold a coherent frequency, the field around you begins to organize itself according to your tone. Circumstances rearrange, people show up, timing aligns. The outer world cannot resist coherent energy because everything in existence seeks order. When you become order, you become the gravitational point around which reality organizes. That is the essence of creation. You do not force the field, you tune to it. Your DNA then translates this frequency of light into form, instructing your cells to behave in ways that support the vibration you are holding. This is when the body heals. This is when the mind clears. This is when intuition sharpens and coincidence transforms into communication. It is all one continuum of light remembering itself through you. Think of every photon inside your body as a note in an infinite melody. The universe plays through you, and you have a choice. You can either let the music flow, or you can distort it with resistance. Resistance happens when emotion is suppressed, when the light is held back behind a dam of denial. We often pretend to be calm, while our inner current trembles with anxiety. But the light does not lie. It vibrates exactly as you feel, regardless of the mask you wear. That is why authenticity is power in the quantum field. Pretending creates interference. Honesty restores coherence. The moment you admit your fear, but choose to breathe through it with awareness, your light stabilizes. You have converted chaos into order simply by facing yourself. That is how evolution happens inside the body. DNA is not waiting for the next generation to mutate. It is responding now, adapting in real time to the consciousness you embody. The more light you allow through emotion, the faster that evolution occurs. Each coherent feeling rewrites a portion of your genetic music, unlocking codes of intuition, resilience, and sensitivity that were once thought to belong only to saints or geniuses. These abilities are not gifts reserved for the chosen few. They are frequencies your DNA understands. You are the one who decides how loudly they sing. In the stillness of meditation, the biophotons within you become more organized. The frequency of your heart synchronizes with the brain, forming what scientists call heart-brain coherence. In that moment, the body becomes a single, unified instrument, not a collection of separate parts. Your energy field expands meters beyond your skin, connecting directly with the quantum fabric that holds reality together. Every intention released from that state carries immense power because it rides on a current of ordered light. Ancient traditions have focused on breath and awareness for thousands of years, not because they were obsessed with relaxation, but because they understood the physics of the vessel. They developed methods to restore the purity of internal light, so that the energy of creation could flow through the human form without distortion. The more you practice this state of coherence, the more natural it feels to your system. Eventually, you arrive at a startling realization. Peace is not the result of controlling your life. Peace is the result of resonance. It happens when your DNA, your thoughts, and the light of the cosmos are all playing the exact same note. In that state of harmony, fear loses its meaning. It simply cannot exist where light is synchronized. You begin to sense that the language of light never stops speaking to you. It speaks through the sudden warmth in your chest when you choose forgiveness. It speaks through the tingling on your skin when you align with a profound truth. It speaks through the tears that appear without sadness when you witness something real and raw. Those physical sensations are not random. They are the signals of your DNA decoding energy into awareness. The body is translating light into feeling and consciousness into biological form. To live this way is not to escape your humanity, but to fulfill it completely. Every pulse of light from your cells is part of the same song being sung by the stars above you. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are a continuation of its frequency. When you walk under the night sky, remember that the light burning in the distance is the same light burning inside you, folded into a spiral. You are listening, translating, and responding to the galaxy. The more aware you become of this silent dialogue, the more luminous your daily life becomes. We often think of coherence as a goal to be achieved, something we must strive for. But coherence is actually what happens when you simply stop interfering with your natural light. You do not need to chase awakening. You only need to stop scattering your photons in 1,000 directions of fear, doubt, and worry. When you gather your energy through breath, through stillness, and through radical presence, you let your light move as one powerful stream of awareness. Your DNA hears this shift immediately. It shifts its rhythm, opens its structure, and the light within you begins to flow freely again. That is the precise moment when biology turns into luminosity. It is where science meets spirit. It is the moment you remember that the true language of life is light, and you were born fluent in it. Reality does not answer to your words, it answers to your vibration. Every signal you send out becomes a magnetic thread woven into the fabric of the quantum field, and the field never ignores a signal, it mirrors it. The reflection is not always immediate, but it is always precise. Every feeling, every silent thought, every pulse of emotion that travels through your neural pathways is recorded as a frequency. The universe responds to that frequency with mathematical accuracy. What you call coincidence is simply the physics of resonance unfolding around you. When fear becomes your constant tone, your DNA transmits that pattern like a distress beacon. The molecules in your body tighten, preparing for a threat, and that tension emits a specific electromagnetic signature. The field reads it as a command. Send me more reasons to be afraid. The field sends back experiences that match the vibration of danger. This explains why people who live in chronic worry often attract the very circumstances that confirm their fears. It is not punishment from a vengeful deity, it is coherence. The field must remain consistent with the signals it receives. But the opposite is also true, and this is where your power lies. When your state of being radiates trust, the same field reorganizes matter to support that trust. DNA expands, cellular light increases, the heart generates a strong harmonic field, and life rearranges itself to mirror that coherence. Reality does not happen to you, it happens through you. It is translated by the electromagnetic dialogue between your DNA and the quantum field. This interaction is constant, happening even when you are asleep or distracted. Each moment is a transmission, each emotion is a frequency code, and your body is the transmitter. This is why awareness is not just a philosophy, it is a technology. When you become aware of what you are feeling, you regain access to the control panel of creation. Awareness allows you to adjust the signal before it becomes a physical event. You begin to realize that every external situation is a feedback loop of your internal vibration. The people who frustrate you, the delays that test your patience, the opportunities that appear out of nowhere, all of them are mirrors. If you respond to a challenge with resistance, the signal distorts and the pattern repeats until it is understood. But if you respond with acceptance and clarity, the path resolves, the lesson completes. The frequency evolves. This process is the architecture of the quantum field. It has no morality, only reflection. The field mirrors your dominant state, not your occasional wish. A brief moment of positive thinking cannot override hours of emotional contradiction. DNA listens to the overall tone, the accumulated vibration that defines your baseline frequency. You may speak about abundance and prosperity, but if your heart vibrates in the fear of loss, the field will respond to the fear, not to the words. That is why inner coherence is infinitely more powerful than any affirmation you can recite. The universe speaks in energy, not language. It hears what your DNA emits, not what your lips declare. The mind may lie to protect the ego, but the body never does. It tells the truth through every heartbeat, every breath, and every subtle change in rhythm. When those rhythms are out of harmony, the electromagnetic field around you becomes fragmented, and so does your experience of life. But when they synchronize, the field regains order, and order attracts order. You can feel it when this happens. Life suddenly feels smoother. People treat you differently. The same world seems to operate by different rules. Nothing external has changed, yet everything is different because your signal has changed. You have entered coherence with the field. In that coherence, DNA no longer hides behind survival codes. It begins to unlock sequences that were dormant, potentials that respond only to higher frequencies. These are not abstract ideas, they are measurable biological changes. Your immune system strengthens, your brain waves stabilize, your intuition heightens because all systems of the body are finally following the same vibration. You are becoming an orchestra that has found its tempo again. The difference between chaos and harmony is defined entirely by the quality of your signal. This is why the simplest acts often carry the most profound power. A slow, deliberate breath, a fleeting moment of genuine gratitude, or a single thought of kindness can recalibrate your electromagnetic rhythm instantly. Your DNA translates these shifts into light, and the field detects the change without delay. It begins to realign probabilities around you to fit this new vibration. What you once called miracles are simply the natural results of consistent coherence. When coherence becomes your habit, manifestation ceases to be an effort. You are no longer asking the universe for things. You are radiating the vibration that makes them inevitable. The field does not resist alignment, it flows toward it. The resistance you feel comes from within, from memories, beliefs, and stuck emotions that hold lower frequencies. These are not your enemies. They are parts of you that are desperate for integration. Each unresolved emotion is a frequency still broadcasting from the past. To shift your life, you do not have to erase those frequencies. You simply bring them into coherence by feeling them fully, without judgment. The moment an emotion is felt completely, it loses its distortion and turns into pure energy again. DNA registers this as a release. The field registers it as expansion. This is how healing truly happens. It is not a battle against darkness, but a restoration of harmony between your internal frequencies and the light of the field. As your coherence grows, the reflection in the mirror changes. Situations that once triggered you lose their power. People who matched your old vibration drift away, replaced by those who resonate with your new tone. The shift can feel like loss, but it is simply reorganization. The field always chooses harmony, and it will not hold patterns that contradict your current signal. Every new level of awareness brings a new set of reflections, and each reflection invites a deeper mastery of your frequency. You start noticing how precise the feedback is. A single day of frustration manifests as small disruptions, while a week of gratitude opens doors that logic cannot explain. The connection is direct, not symbolic. The field does not play favorites. It obeys resonance. Understanding this turns life into an art form. You stop reacting to appearances and start adjusting your signal. Instead of asking why something happens, you ask what frequency in you it reflects. The moment you answer honestly, the mirror changes. This realization is ultimate freedom. It removes blame, fear, and helplessness, placing power back where it always belonged, inside the electromagnetic rhythm of your own body. When you breathe consciously, when you feel truthfully, when you think coherently, your DNA transmits clarity. The field cannot help but respond with clarity. That is how alignment becomes destiny. There is no external power controlling your path, only reflections of the light you project. Every heartbeat sends another message into the quantum sea, and every moment the sea replies with perfect accuracy. The question is not whether the field hears you, it always does. The question is what melody you are sending. The harmony or dissonance of your life is not random. It is the echo of your vibration returning home. Inside every cell of your body lies an instrument far older than your mind, an antenna built from spirals of light. DNA is not only a biological archive, but a living receiver, an exquisite bridge between consciousness and the quantum field. Each of its coils functions like a tuned wire, sensitive to even the faintest changes in electromagnetic resonance. It listens to the music of your emotions, translates it into energy, and then transmits that vibration outward into the field of creation. This is the language of life itself. Everything in existence radiates frequency, and all frequencies seek harmony. Your DNA is the meeting point where matter and awareness exchange their codes. This awakening is not a single event, but a continuous unfolding. Each moment of awareness lights another thread in the helix. Each act of kindness refines the frequency. Each breath of stillness strengthens the connection between your biology and the quantum field. You are decoding yourself from the inside out, turning potential into presence. The field records every signal you emit, and the stronger your coherence, the faster those dormant sequences activate. It is not about forcing change, but allowing light to circulate without resistance. The universe never withholds awakening. It only waits for the signal of readiness. Readiness is not perfection, it is surrender. When you surrender the habit of control, you release the tension that constricts light. DNA, free from contraction, becomes luminous. This is why states of meditation, gratitude, or forgiveness feel so expansive. They reduce biological resistance, allowing the energy of consciousness to flow unhindered through your cells. What most people call enlightenment is simply sustained openness. The nervous system stabilizes, the heart and brain remain in coherence, and DNA continuously receives the language of higher frequencies. Over time, this creates what ancient texts called the light body, a field of ordered photons surrounding and penetrating the physical form. It is not something separate from you. It is you, fully remembered. The process is subtle. Sometimes it feels like gentle bliss, other times like exhaustion or emotional release as the body learns to handle more current. Old patterns stored as electromagnetic memories in the cellular matrix surface to be rebalanced. This is not regression, it is purification. Light reveals what no longer matches its frequency. As those fragments integrate, the field becomes clearer. You are literally becoming more transparent to light. The physical evidence of this is steady energy, fewer mood swings, and a natural magnetism that cannot be faked. You are the light that looked for itself and finally saw its reflection everywhere. You are the field listening to its own heartbeat. The universe is experiencing its own beauty through your human eyes. Awakening is not beyond this life. It is this life, finally seen for what it truly is. Pure consciousness folded into form, radiant, eternal, and complete. There comes a moment in every journey when searching loses its meaning, when you stop trying to reach the light and realize you have always been inside it. Awakening is not a doorway that opens ahead of you. It is the quiet recognition that nothing was ever closed. Every step, every struggle, and every spark of awareness has been guiding you toward this simple truth. You are the field observing itself through the lens of human experience. The DNA within you was never merely a biological structure. It was a mirror designed to help consciousness remember its own light. Each strand carries the memory of origin, the blueprint of unity written in a language too pure for words. When you finally reach the stillness where the mind stops demanding proof, you can feel it, that pulse of light beneath every breath, that rhythm of intelligence flowing through your blood. It is the same rhythm that moves the tides and orchestrates the galaxies. You are not part of it, you are it. The journey of awakening was never about becoming extraordinary, but about recognizing the sacred in the ordinary. Every emotion you have ever felt, every moment of joy or grief, was the field communicating with itself. The pain that once felt like separation was simply the resistance of light meeting density. The joy that followed was that same light remembering its flow. When you look back, you will see that even your confusion was guidance. Every detour was a precise calibration of frequency, preparing you to hold more awareness. The field wastes nothing. It converts every shadow into momentum. In the highest view, there was never a mistake, only movement. If you're ready to expand your consciousness and step into your next quantum leap, subscribe now, leave a comment below, and share this message with someone ready to awaken.